They are some of the most spectacular animals on this planet. Elephants, tigers, rhinos, and even the pangolin, an animal I actually had never even heard of until now. Today, organized criminal rings are threatening to hunt them to extinction through illegal trade. It's an industry worth up to $20 billion a year, but the UN is fighting back. This year's World Environment Day on June 5th targets this illegal market. Elliot, UN Assistant Secretary General. So let's talk about what is illegal wildlife trade.
Well, there is a tremendous amount of illegal poaching that goes on in Africa and in Asia in particular. We thought we were getting a handle on it. It has gotten worse, and it has gotten a whole lot worse very, very fast indeed.
Let's just go through some numbers. African elephant, up to 35,000 killed last year.
We found that in the last 2 years alone, 100,000 elephants being killed. It's tragic because that's 1 in every 5 that currently live on the African continent. It's killed for its tusk. If this continues in 5 years' time, there probably won't be any left.
Black rhino population, down 97.6% since 1960.
In South Africa alone, the poaching of rhinos has increased by 90-fold, 9,000% in the last decade and a half.
That's a number, 9,000%. You can't
imagine what it is. They have been hunted virtually to the brink of extinction for their horn, because there is this alleged rumor that the horn has medicinal properties, and there is unfortunately a large market for that. So it is a profitable trade. What has happened that has driven them to the very brink of extinction, though, is that the poaching now is not an individual going out there and trying to kill a rhino. It's an organized criminal band with a whole network of distribution and transit and sale at the destination market behind it. It has become an industry, and the poor rhino doesn't have a chance against that.
There should be a huge public outcry about that. Okay, elephants, rhino.
A third one is something that many people are unaware of, the pangolin. It's an anteater.
I don't even know what a pangolin is.
It looks like an armadillo. It's a very cute little animal. It has scales, and it's prevalent in Africa and in Asia. And it is the single most illegally trafficked mammal on Earth.
Why?
Because of the scales. Apparently there are some cultures that impute or believe that the scales have particularly powerful medicinal qualities. Again,
unproven.
Unproven, but the perception is there. And they're small, they're nocturnal animals, they are easy to catch, and the trade has become so large that 1 million animals have been estimated to have been lost in the last decade and a half. 1 million anteaters.
Wow. Okay, and what would the fourth one be?
I would say the fourth one of the iconic animals is the tiger. The loss of tigers in Asia has been, I hate to use the word spectacular, but that really does describe it. The numbers have gone down to the point where we can count maybe 300 or 400 tigers, where previously there was tens of thousands. And the fifth one that unfortunately we should mention are the great apes. We've had figures that indicate that about 3,000 apes, great apes, were killed in the last 2 years alone. And there are some countries now where there are no more chimpanzees.
And what's the reason for killing the great ape? I mean, we're talking about orangutans, we're talking about the very large.
That's right. I mean, in part it is a capture of the animals to bring them into captivity. In part it is to try and get tokens, if you will, sort of. You can think about the gorilla paw that's used as an ashtray, or the foot that is used as an umbrella stand. It happens on such scale that it really decimates the population.
It just seems like this is rampant and unstoppable, and we have to try to do something.
This is depriving us of a large part of our biodiversity, and we don't understand just how important that is, but it really is. That's what makes Earth so unique, the biodiversity, the different species that interact and live together in ecosystems. This trade not only kills off animals that haven't done anything to deserve this, but it also disrupts these ecosystems, and we have no idea what the real long-term consequences of that disruption might be.
We get to this conversation because of World Environment Day. This is something that was started back in the 70s.
That's correct. What we do every year is we choose a topic that is a part of the environmental agenda, something that is a really important problem, a global problem, if you will, first, but a problem where we think that individuals, you and I, can actually make a difference. Let's face it, the illegal trade in wildlife products alone is one of the most important illegal trades that exists. It's right up there with the illegal trade in drugs, in small arms and in the trafficking of humans.
So these conversations seem to work.
They do. The information has to get out, but it's not just the poachers that you have to inform. We have to get people who are buying these products to realize just how much damage they're doing, inadvertently, of course. They don't know how bad it is. They have to understand that this is not one elephant that's been killed for a bit of its tusk, but that there are 100,000 elephants that are killed to make a huge trade in ivory. It's a huge, huge problem, and people need to understand that buying a little bit of ivory is just the tip of the iceberg.
Elliot, at the end of this, what would you consider being successful?
I think if we could see in the public media that this issue of illegal trade in wildlife is more present, people are talking about it more than they did last year, that in itself is a success. Because that awareness and that willingness to engage, that is what is going to strengthen the hands of those who are actually out there on the front lines, fighting against the poachers, trying to prevent the trade from happening. We won't solve the problem by the 5th of June 2017. But if we have more people talking about it by the 5th of June 2017, we're on the right track.
If you want a poaching success story, Nepal is the place we would point to. According to the UN, tougher penalties for poaching and tighter court proceedings have helped the country reach zero poaching in 3 of the last 5 years. Now that actually boosted the rhino population 21%. Thanks for watching 23.5, where the truth isn't tilted. That's just our plan.